Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
I'm a 34-year-old man, and I came across this high-maintenance woman, 31, at a party thrown by a mutual friend. To be honest, I was awestruck at her first sight, as she was beyond perfection. I asked my friend who had thrown that party to introduce me to her. He told me that she was not easy at all, and it was better for me to just leave her alone, but I could not. I sent her a drink, and of course I got her attention. I went to her and told her that she was looking great and if we could dance together. She told me that she was already busy with her friends and appreciated me for the drink. The whole evening, I could not take my eyes off her. I was desperate to find her on social media but was not able to. I called that mutual friend and asked if he could at least tell me about her social accounts. He forwarded the links to her IDS and I sent requests immediately. She added me, and I knew I was not going to give up. I started replying to her stories and sending her texts now and then hoping for a reply. One very fine day she replied, and I swear it felt like it was the best day on earth. We started talking, but she never seemed interested. I gathered courage and asked her out, to which she said yes, and I was all set to plan a grand dinner for her. I thought it was my chance to impress her, so I was going to make sure that everything was perfect. We had a great time, and she was evidently impressed. We started dating soon after that and hung out almost every day. As we grew closer, I learned that she was a bit self-obsessed and liked things her way. She was also very moody, and everything depended on her mood. She could be very cheerful one moment and enraged at another. She would be very loving one day and seem like she never cared the next day. I had to put constant effort to keep up with her because she was very demanding in every way. Being an accountant in a reputable company, I earned very well and spoiled her with gifts and surprises now and then. Our relationship could get tiring, but it was worth it because I thought that she was perfect. It had been around 8 months since we were in a relationship, and we had not moved in together. I asked her about it, and she told me that she would think about it. We were watching Netflix, and I asked her when we were moving in together, and she lost her temper. She told me that she could not let anyone invade her space and loved her privacy more than anything, so it was never going to happen. I was shocked at her reaction and did not talk about it again. I went to the washroom after some time and found a t-shirt there, which did not belong to her as I had never seen her wearing it. I asked her to whom the t-shirt belonged, and she yelled that it was hers and I should not doubt her. My girlfriend called me and told me that she wanted to see me as soon as possible. I told her that I could see her in the evening as it was a very busy day in the office. When we met in the evening, she told me that she was worried and needed my help. She told me that she was going to start her own boutique, but lacked a few $1,000s. She told me that it was her dream, but it felt like it was never going to turn into reality. I told her that I had savings, but those were not enough as we recently had gone on a road trip. She told me that I could take a loan from my company and that she would help me repay once her boutique was launched. I was shocked to hear that and told her that I was not going to do that and I would not be put under pressure. She told me that I never loved her and only cared about my position and left. I tried to follow her, but she fled in a taxi. I called her hundreds of times, but she did not respond. I texted her that I was going to transfer whatever savings I had to her account and would contribute a good amount of money every month until her boutique was set up, but she kept insisting that I take a loan. I tried to make her understand, but then let her be. I called my girlfriend again and begged her not to make me do that. I could easily leave her and move on, and also had tried, but I was attached to her and had to take care of her. She was still standing with her demand and told me that she was not going to talk to me until I took the loan. I knew I could not step back, so I went to my boss and requested a loan. As soon as I got the loan, I transferred the amount to her account. She was very happy and told me that I was invited to her place as she was going to prepare a dinner that evening for me. I was happy to help her, but was worried as I was now in debt. I went to her place for dinner. She was very grateful and thanked me so many times, telling me that I was the best man in the world. I do not know where this relationship is heading, as her demands are increasing day by day. It makes me happy to help her or fulfill her wishes, but at the same time, I have to manage my finances and life, which are getting messed up with every passing day. It was our anniversary, and my girlfriend told me that she had planned a celebration at her place and had also invited someone to surprise me. I was very excited and thought it was going to be one of her parents, as she had not introduced me to her family yet. I asked her if her parents were coming over because I wanted to look perfect, but she told me that it was someone I didn't know. I was convinced that it was going to be someone famous, as my girlfriend seemed excited. I told her that I would be there and would love to see who was waiting for me. I got ready and was very excited. It had been a year since we started dating, and I felt like it was the best year of my life. I had bought gifts for her from her favorite brands and bought a bouquet on my way. She was overwhelmed to see me with all those gifts and flowers and pulled me inside her apartment. She helped me put down the gifts and then hugged me, thanking me for the amazing year. She asked me if I was ready to see who she had invited that evening, and I told her that I was dying of curiosity. A few moments later, I saw her ex-boyfriend coming out of her bedroom smiling at me. I was shocked and asked her what was going on. She told me that she was grateful to me as I had helped her enough to move to the capital with the love of her life. She told me that she was already in a relationship with that guy when I was not ready to give up on her, as she decided to avail the opportunity. She went on and said that she was now going to move to the capital with her boyfriend and asked if I would like to have dinner with them or could leave. I could not believe it, and I left the place immediately. It made me sick. I had to take a day off from my office as I was too torn apart to face the world. That woman meant the world to me, and she decided to loot me just because I showed immense interest in her. I went through the social media and found that she had blocked me from everywhere, and I guess my number was also blocked. I did not try to contact her after that. Guys, I have an update. Almost 3 months after that incident, my ex texted me and told me that she wanted to see me. I asked her why she wanted to see me, as she had ruined everything, and I did not even want to see her face. She told me that it was something important, and I could not ignore her like that. To be honest, I still had a soft corner for her and couldn't refuse her. I told her that she could see me in the cafe near my apartment. I went to see her, and she looked as perfect as ever. As soon as we had placed an order for our coffees, she started crying bitterly and told me that her boyfriend took all her money and the money I had given her and ditched her. She told me that she had realized that she acted worse with me and it was karma who had punished her, but she was here to beg for a new beginning. She told me that she knew I still loved her and would not leave her alone. I told her that I was sorry to hear her story, but I could never let her in my life again, and I left the cafe. My ex kept on calling me and would not leave me alone. I had told her several times that there was no way we were ever getting back together, as what she had done was the worst thing. She would apologize and beg for another chance, but how could I trust her now? Maybe she was still lying and was looking for another handsome amount of money. Maybe she still did not break up with her boyfriend. It was just another trap. I tried to make her understand, but she was not ready to listen, so I had to report to the police. I filed a complaint against her for harassing me and told her that if she tried to contact me again, cops were going to deal with her. She did not disturb me after that, and I'm glad that she's left me alone. NTA. But how did OP stay that blind for a whole year? I mean, you can just feel the presence of another person, but OP stayed clueless until his ex revealed her boyfriend. This explains why she was not ready to move in with OP, as she had to manage both the relationships. OP could be more vigilant, and taking the loan from the company for his girlfriend's boutique was so stupid of OP. OP's ex was an a-hole, and I do not understand how she had the guts to return and beg for reconciliation. She managed to cheat OP for the whole year, looted him, and then shamelessly revealed her relationship. Even if karma had hit her and her boyfriend taught her a lesson, how she expected OP to accept her and forget what she had done to him? She is pathetic.
Next story.
I'm a 20-year-old woman, and I'm now dealing with a problem concerning a friend of mine. I'm a college student with a large social circle. Because of this, there are a few people in my circle that I don't know well enough. One of them is this girl named Talia. Talia happens to be very rich. We didn't find out until recently. We didn't realize it because she never presented herself as wealthier than those around her. She didn't wear expensive clothes, she didn't overspend, and she seemed to live her life as a middle-class person at best. My best friend, Jada, was scrolling through Talia's Instagram when she came upon her brother. Her brother uploaded a picture of their beautiful mansion on Instagram, revealing their wealth. To me, this was just an odd thing to discover, but Jada was visibly unhappy. When our friend group goes out to places like restaurants or clubs, we always share the bill evenly. Jada was outraged to find that Talia was rich, since she felt Talia had enough money to cover everyone, but decided to keep this information hidden. When I told her that she wasn't entitled to Talia's money, Jada became enraged. She said it was the principal, and Talia was wrong for pretending to be poor. She then confronted Talia in our group chat. Talia has not answered since. I advised Jada to calm down since it wasn't that serious, and she told me I was just as wrong as Talia for supporting her actions. I really want to give Jada the benefit of the doubt because she doesn't come from a family that does have a lot of money, so there could be some personal feelings involved with this. However, I also think that Talia isn't required to spend more than she has to. So, AITA? I don't know anyone involved, but I'm inclined to say that Talia is not pretending to be poor. I think she's being modest. Not even sure I would say that. To protect herself from people just like Jada who think that she's personal ATM. Either way, no matter the reason, yeah, no, Jada is not entitled to Talia's money or any generosity, nor is Talia obligated to be generous to her. And not only that, there's no mention of Talia's actual situation. It seems like Jada has no idea what Talia's family dynamics are like, so she could just be another kid trying to make it through this world. I mean, yeah, there is probably privilege. Example, she probably has a cushion a lot of people may not have. But to assume that Talia has access to any of her family's wealth to begin with, and then to take it a step further, for Jada to believe that she's entitled to that access and that wealth, is utter horseshit. And it deserves to be called out. NTA. NTA. Jada needs to get a grip. She isn't entitled to anybody's money, no matter how much money they have. She's found a picture on Instagram. So what? It shows, if the picture is true, we all know people lie on social media, that Talia's parents are potentially rich. It doesn't mean that she is. Her parents could be quite strict with an allowance. But either way, it's none of her business, and she isn't entitled to it. Jada is acting like an entitled brat and is coming across as a user.
Next story.
So, I bought an existing established business and I'm carrying it on. The business is 100% mine, and the previous owners have no financial or legal stake in the business. They are a couple and retired. I took the business on. We've been on reasonably good terms, apart from the fact that one of the previous owners keeps coming in, putting her bag behind the counter, and standing there chatting with staff and occasionally customers. Staff don't like it and find her a bit of a nuisance, but don't feel confident moving her on. I normally deal with this by acting mock alarm and exclaiming, "Madam," while clutching my imaginary pearls or reminding her that customers are not allowed behind the counter. This is generally taken in good fun with her apologizing. She's on autopilot. I get it. It's annoying but not harmful. The routine is that she heads behind the counter. I tell her that she can't do that. She apologizes and moves. This has been going on for 6 months. The other day, she started using the cash register. I don't think that she was stealing and just changed her mind about a receipt, so printed herself one. But it was also a bit of a bloody overstep, and I told her so when I found out. I put my foot down and said that if she went behind the counter again, she'd be banned from the shop. 6 months is a long time to be friendly about it, and I've had enough. It's not a dementia thing, which someone suggested. She's just one of those people who largely does what she wants and argues until she gets her way if challenged. Since taking over, I've had customers ask if that woman has gone. She's now acting like I've done something unspeakable and, I think, thinks I'm accusing her of stealing, whereas, in my opinion, she's had 6 months of warning about this and it's just gotten worse. I see it as defending a boundary. She sees it as a slap in the face. Part of me feels like I should have been more tolerant, as she was there for over a decade and she means no harm. But it's been 6 months of me being tolerant and politely reminding her that she can't go behind the counter. Am I the a-hole here? NTA, it's been 6 months. I understand that she may be on autopilot, but she's no longer the owner, and that is no longer her establishment. Keep being polite because she hasn't done anything wrong, but start being a bit more firm with her. It'll take her time, but she'll get it. Also, think about sitting down with her privately and discussing your concerns about the optics of her being behind the counter as a customer. Talk to her business owner. That might help. NTA. I bought my business from my boss when he retired. The first year of owning it, I was still calling him, asking for opinions, worried about his thoughts on stuff if I changed it. As the years have gone on, this has faded and the relationship has changed. I might ask his opinions on how to handle something, like expanding or dealing with a difficult wholesaler, but he's now more of a sounding board. I no longer care if he comes in and doesn't like how we're operating. I wish I had set those boundaries much sooner because it would have saved me some anxiety. Set those boundaries. Don't feel bad. Honestly, she sounds pretty bad compared to my old boss. Like he openly would say, "Hey, this isn't mine. Do what you want." I have a feeling if you made a major change that she would flip her lid. Call her up and explain this isn't personal, but this is the way it has to be.